if they can manage to contain England in the ways that Italy have shown against Spain this tournament and against other sides, I think that we will have ourselves a really interesting, sparking match.
England and Italy in Geneva. The Lionesses are the favourites, but you can't count out Italy, who scored that 90th minute winner, of course, to get past Norway in the quarters. 3 p.m. Eastern, the game kicks off. The other semi between Germany and Spain is at the same time on Wednesday. Looking forward to both of those games. But some unfortunate news, really, in the build-up to the England game. Their defender, Jess Carter, says she's been subject to racial abuse online at the tournament. The 27-year-old Gotham FC star posted this on Instagram on Sunday. We'll see it in just a second here. From the start of the tournament, I've experienced a lot of racial abuse. Whilst I feel every fan is entitled to their opinion on performance and result, I don't agree or think it's okay to target someone's appearance or race. Carter's made 49 appearances for England and was part of the victorious Euro 2022 squad, as well as an integral part of the team that finished runner-up to Spain at the World Cup the following year. She says she'll be taking a step back from social media. Here's her teammate Lucy Bronze, who says combating racism in football is a battle the authorities are losing.
There are small changes in, you see people being held accountable, whether that's online, whether that's in stadiums. You do see bans happening. It's just not enough. I think that's the point, and not enough is being done. There are small changes being made. I think even you look back 100 years to 50 years to 20 years to 10 years, there's always small steps forward, but that's the problem. It's always a small step, and we don't want it to be small steps anymore. We want it to be, this is happening, there is change, and this is unacceptable, and it's no more small steps, because we get to the point where it's where it should be in the world, and especially in the world of football. As footballers, it feels like there can be a place where we can control abuse online, especially racism online, especially because everything's monitored online, so it just doesn't make sense to us.
Words there from Lucy Bronze. The Lionesses also posted on the incident, saying they stand with Jess and all Lionesses players, past and present, who have suffered racism. They say as well towards the end there they'll return their total focus to the important semi-final. In the meantime, they know that the FA, the Football Association, working with British police and the appropriate bodies, those behind this online poison, must be held accountable. Let's chat to Christine Cupo for a lot more on this. From the playing perspective, Christine, and it was well said there from Lucy Bronze, strong words that we have to try and eradicate this from the game, both online and at the stadiums as well. How will this affect Jess on the pitch going into the game? She said she's going to step back from social media, but will she be able to really focus on the game itself? Because surely that's going to be so difficult.
I think it's a big ask of her no matter what, because obviously what she has managed to see and read, she's already absorbed. It's unfortunate. Reports have come out that she's stepped away from social media entirely, that she's actually entrusted some of her teammates to go through some of her social media, which is very kind of them, but we're in 2025, and I don't expect that this continues to keep happening both in the men's game and the women's game. And irrespective of any of the campaigns that we've put out, keep the hate out and all of that, I feel like we need to honestly confront this at this point, because we require action. We've done marketing campaigns as if this is a special edition kit that's being launched out, not unraveling ideologies that are harmful and just plain hateful. I think that we need to look ahead to companies that are platforms, and unfortunately, we need to have a serious conversation about not necessarily limiting speech, but eradicating hate speech online. There needs to be better filtration systems. We need to actually start having conversations within our footballing communities, because quite frankly, I can tell you two things are true. If you only support your team and their players as long as they serve you, as long as their labor benefits you, as long as they're entertaining you, you are not a fan. And secondly, you are a racist if you're engaging in these activities. Period. End of story.
And very well said. When you're kind of talking, though, about these next steps and avoiding social media, just from a personal standpoint, how do you kind of tune that all out and think about football again? How do you kind of go on to this next level and think about the game and think about what your job is in this game? What will be a very incredibly difficult game and important game for England in the semifinal?
Absolutely. And England have come into this tournament under immense pressure as the reigning current Euro champions. Now, I think that one of the more beneficial things that comes of this is proof that this Lioness squad is so galvanized around each other, but especially Jess Carter at this impasse where she has been so abused. I think that the trust in her, the resounding support that has come out, yes, online by Gotham, by the leagues, by NWSL that have supported her in this, which they should be. I think that those are helpful. I think it's a matter of them locking in and knowing that now it's time to play a game. And I do think that they're capable of doing it. She's shown that she is a consummate professional, both in league play and her acclimation to NWSL and her success with Gotham, and also for the Lionesses. I think that this will be a challenge for her, but I think that it will be something that she'll come out better for on the other side because she is in the comfort and security of her teammates.
One of the big things, Christine, that the Lionesses fans were focusing on in terms of things on the pitch was the fitness of Leah Williamson. What's the update on her? Is she going to be okay for the semi-final? Do you think she'll start the game?
Because she's been seemed to be training, and as of right now, reports are that she will be joining back in the squad. I don't know if that right now means that she'll be absolutely slotted into the starting 11 or we'll see her come off the bench. But Leah Williamson is integral to this Lioness side's success, not just because she's captain, not just because of her leadership qualities. She's an organizer. She's a defender. She's a key part of how they build out the back. She is... I won't say that they can't do it without her because I do think that they have the proper talent in place. But what I'll say is when you remove a Leah Williamson from here, and I'll give you a baking analogy that you might not follow because I don't know how often you guys are in the kitchen, to be fair. But if you manage to swap out eggs for applesauce, you're still going to get a cake, but you're going to lose something along the way. So I feel like there are other players that can step in and manage to take up the task at hand, but I think it'll be more of a concerted team effort where they need to get certain qualities that Leah Williamson brings from several different players, not just from one plug-and-play player.
Christine, England come into this game as favorites, and we've seen no two performances at this tournament that, for me, you could say they could have been knocked out by now. Well, you look at how bad they were against France in the group stage, and I thought they were pretty terrible for 60, 65 minutes against Sweden before that game turned around. Is there still a worry about England, even though they would be considered heavy favorites against Italy?
I think that England have shown that they are not... they're not infallible, right? They make errors. They've had shortcomings that have been exposed this tournament, especially. I think that we've seen teams rise to the occasion when they need to. We have seen but two very stark contrasting England sides this tournament in itself, where coming into this tournament, they absolutely did not look like themselves whatsoever. I had started to count them out, and I knew that Sweden was going to be a big, big ask of them. They are very organized, and they have a really solid aerial presence, and England managed to squeak it out, but we get this crazy scenario of, you know, extra time in pens this entire Euros, which, quite frankly, I would like to be saved from going forward. I think that Italy may have a chance here. And I've said this all tournament. I did call them the dark horse early on. I think that if they can manage to contain England in the ways that Italy have shown against Spain this tournament and against other sides, I think that we will have ourselves a really interesting, sparking match.
I think the three of us would have had a better chance scoring penalties than some of those England players. Stay there, Christine. We'll be back with you in just a second. Let's focus on England's opponents, Italy, now. Here's their midfielder, Anna Maria Setterini, speaking pre-match on her team's hopes to cause an upset.
Quando si arriva qui diciamo che è qualcosa di grande, di magnifico, è normale che magari l'Inghilterra è più abituata a queste semifinali o finali addirittura, quindi noi stiamo preparando la partita con il sorriso, con la determinazione, con la forza del gruppo che ci ha contraddistinto dall'inizio dell'Europeo, e non solo tra noi giocatrici ma anche lo staff e tutte le persone che lavorano dietro di noi sono una parte fondamentale della nostra squadra.
Christine, they got past Norway in those quarterfinals courtesy of a 90th minute goal. As she mentioned there, you know, it would be a bit of an upset if they are to beat England in the semi-finals. But do they feel that they're kind of sort of playing with no pressure because they're playing with house money, that they're up against England? No one's expecting them to win it, but they have proved at this competition that they can trouble big teams.
I think that there definitely is pressure upon them. They obviously want to win. Nobody gets into these big tournaments and doesn't want to show up and show out to the best of their ability. I also think there's significant pressure on Andrea Sonchin's shoulders. Remember, he was appointed in 2023 amidst a lot of noise, quite frankly, that he wasn't qualified, that he's never coached in the women's game in any capacity, that his journeyman career as a player wouldn't be adequate to transfer into being a first team coach. He did step in and manage for a little bit as sort of this caretaker manager and youth team. However, this is his first big job. So would he rise to the occasion? I think that a lot of these criticisms have led to a significant amount of accountability on his part. And I do feel that the pressure is on, that he needs to show out. And yes, to this point, he really has. I think he's absolutely overperformed beyond anyone's dreams in terms of managing this squad. But I think that that will only whet people's appetites for so long. I think going forward, if he cannot continue to show progression, that'll be damning.
Christine Cupo, we appreciate the sober analysis of the game, but I want to hear from Christine Cupo, the Italian. Christine Cupo, who's connected into this community of people that are now really getting excited about the women's game in Italy. I think this has been kind of a transcendent moment. What's that level of excitement about the fact that now we're seeing this success from the Italian women's side?
I'm elated. Okay, I have been bouncing around since they've continued to progress and also proved me right. They have really reinvigorated the squad, and I think they've given all of us Italians, Italian Americans alike, this real spark, this bit of hope that we haven't seen, a style and identity. We've been failed now by the men's team consistently, and I think that them showing out now, especially with this mix of vets and fresh blood in this squad, is something remarkable. So I will probably be with a blanket over my head watching this game because I'm very stressed out, but I have full faith that they are capable of overcoming this and moving on to the final.